Hello, Fangrafer here once again, getting back to more Let's Play Doom. This time, instead of a video game, or instead of gaming footage, I'm just gonna have the box art of the game while I talk about this. Because, honestly, you can't do a Let's Play of the original Doom without mentioning the Columbine Massacre. In 1999, April 20th, Columbine High School in Colorado was the site of a horrible massacre. The shooters, Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold, committed a mass shooting between 11:19 a.m. and 12:08 p.m. They murdered 12 students and one teacher. They were armed with several weapons like sawed-off shotguns, pump-action shotguns, 995 carbines, and pipe bombs. After the deed was done, they committed suicide. What does this have to do with Doom? You might be thinking. Well, Doom was the #1 suspect for the reason behind the shooting. So allegedly, Eric and Dylan planned for weeks for the shooting and made maps in Doom to train for the shooting. So you can actually find these maps online, and that's what's creepy. You can actually find Columbine maps either when on game either you can find a map where you take control of the shooters, or you can find a map that is laid out like the school and have enemies at certain rooms. Allegedly, they trained in those kind of maps. So, a lot of people tend to subscribe to the fact that this is truth. They made maps in Doom, and Doom is only to blame because it's such an influential title. But others, like myself, believe that it's not true, because many people tend to believe that the maps was not looking like the school. And apparently Eric Harris was a really, really good level designer for fan-made Doom levels. However, those maps have been lost in the internet for years now, and no one have seen them. Also, what many people who don't believe the theory that they made maps and train for it, because honestly we're not gonna know, considering that Harris and Klebold took the answer to the grave with them. Yeah, but what people also say when they say that they don't believe that thing that they made maps is that they didn't actually plan to go in and shoot inside the school. They planned to have 2 pipe bombs go off and shoot people while they're evacuating. This was a horrible, horrible massacre, and many massacres have recently come up that feel very similar. People who have disabilities and have like autism and whatnot, they might play the game and get really influenced by the actions taken in the game and stuff like that. And also, way back then, it looked a lot more realistic, but today it looks extremely pixelated. So if this happened today and it wasn't the reboot or a certain mod, Doom wouldn't be to blame for this. Now, personally, I do believe that while Doom is such a critically acclaimed game and really fun and like really kind of sort of addicting, Um, I don't think that people should have just jumped onto the fact that they saw that both of them played a game called Doom and they just dodged it upon and they just uh, judged it upon the title, but also probably played a little bit of the game and saw that it was pretty much taken from the scene of the that it was from the character's perspective. You held a gun, you shot humanoid enemies, but also these strange demons. Maybe people could have seen that as maybe like maybe that could have like planted racism in people. Now, honestly, even though Doom was the way it was back then, I honestly don't believe that they should have um, blamed Doom solely on this action. Because recently it's come up that Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold they were victims of severe bullying, depression, and they were very, very angry at society. Does this give them any... Does this make it okay for them to just murder people in their school and then commit suicide? No. But I honestly don't think that the media at the time should have just blamed Doom for the whole thing. Today, it's almost the same thing. Like, people, especially the media, tend to look to video games, violent movies, metal artists, and then just take all this and just throw it in. Maybe they've seen like footage of the No Russian mission from Modern Warfare and connected that with a school shooting somewhere, and that the perpetrator liked violent, gory movies and a lot of like dark music, and then cooked that together and was like, oh, it's the fault of the music industry, it's the fault of the movie industry, it's the fault of the video game industry. What really, really grinds my gears about this is that this is still going on today. The news outlets blame video games, movies, music, anything, because they just look at it that way. Now, I think you all remember the time that a kid brought weaponry to school, and this kid didn't play Doom or anything. He played Minecraft. And when questioned, his father, who had seen a little bit of the game but never played it, described that players build guns, knives, hammers, and axes in the game to defend themselves against zombies. Anyone who played Minecraft could easily poke holes into that statement and say that Minecraft isn't the main goal of Minecraft isn't violence. It's creativity and being quick, being very quick when it comes to thinking and teamwork, but also managing resources so you don't like use up all your bricks to build something or use up all your food so you can survive. Sure, to many people, Doom is just like a murder simulator, which is something that many first-person shooters are blamed to be. But many first-person shooters have really, really deep stories that people sadly miss because they take the games at face value. I mean, the original Doom, which is extremely pixelated and couldn't cause any like any school shooting today. I mean, it did that back then, but today it wouldn't. But the media, and especially concerned parents, would probably just look at the game and call it a senseless, in, pretty much call it like a senseless mess. Um, and while well, that also makes me extremely sad because Doom's story is pretty deep, but I mean, who could blame them? The story was written in the manual. It wasn't in the game. It was just like they just popped you on Phobos and just gave you a weapon. I mean, it doesn't explain anything. So yeah, with this, I want to honor the victims of the Columbine massacre, but I also want to shed some light on my point of view of the whole thing. Now, today you can make maps on Doom, especially on the GC Doom interpreter. So, you know, it wouldn't be completely impossible for someone to make a map of their school, but still, I think that the Columbine massacre is while a very, very sad story, is a great way to look at the news outlet and news media and how they react to violent video games, or hell, video games in general, really. Because, I mean, with a kid that brought weapons to the school and you know, he played Minecraft and all that, it really shows that really no game is safe from the media. So rest in peace, the 12 students and singular teacher who lost their lives April 20th, 1999. But my condolences also goes out to the families of Eric Harris and Dylan Klebold. And I honestly hoped that the medical ward of schools would have been better back then, because nothing like this would have happened, and they would have probably still been alive, and probably the school would have done something about that horrible bullying, because bullying is still a rough topic. And what sucks is that many kids don't really want to, you know, go out with the fact that they're bullied every day, and mainly because they usually get if you tell the teachers you're a tattletale and no one will like you and you will just get beat up more, of course that will make a kid not want to talk about it, but you should never resort to killing people. But yeah, next time we will be returning to Doom, and I'll show off the secret levels in all 4 episodes. So I'll see you guys then. Bye bye.